Our children, our future, our community, our Bermuda. We need an inclusive and culturally responsive public education system that prepares learners to thrive and lead in Bermuda's future. The Ministry of Education presents Building Bridges.
Good evening, Bermuda, and welcome to Building Bridges, a show dedicated to sharing with our community the ins and outs of education reform. I'm your host, Laurel Burns. In this episode of Vision for Change, Transforming Education in Bermuda, we will embark on a journey to explore why education reform is crucial to the future of Bermuda's youth and how this transformative process is unfolding. There is a lot in store for you, so don't go anywhere. Building Bridges, Education Reform Bermuda will be right back.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
I am proud to be a part of the team that is working to shift the educational system to address the needs of our young people now.
I'm honored to be a part of the team that developed the new graduation requirements to ensure that students who leave the Bermuda public school system with the Bermuda Signature School Diploma will have the necessary skills, experience, knowledge, values, and relationships for them to be successful in employment and for them to be successful upon entering colleges and universities.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
Welcome back to the program.
Some of you may know her as a principal and a veteran educator. Now she is the lead for education reform. In studio today, we have Ms. Lisa De Silva. Welcome, Lisa, to Building Bridges.
Thank you, Laurel. Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So we want to start off with hearing about education reform. And when we say education reform, what would you say is the why behind the need for such a transition during this current education system?
Well, the why is pretty extensive. We went through a whole process of developing a case for change for our students. Mm-hmm. And the case for change is very compelling. The world around us is changing, and we haven't done many changes to our education system in a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And so the timing and the effort that we're putting into reforming is critically important because of the changing world, because of the changing needs of our students that we have in front of us, the changing needs of our educators who require upskilling in some areas, training and learning in other areas, but just making sure that our students are prepared to compete on the global stage, the local stage, to lead personally and professionally great lives for themselves and for their families. And so it's critically important that the case is very compelling as to why we need to be reforming and changing our education system.
So based on that, what do you envision as solutions for education reform?
Well, I think the main thing is that it requires all of us to be involved. So it's not just something that the Ministry of Education, the Department of Education, our principals, our teachers are involved in. It requires a community effort. It requires changes from parents. It requires changes really from the island as a whole. We need to understand that education is about all of us. It's for all of us. It benefits all of us. And unless all of us are truly engaged in the process, we are going to, hit roadblocks and things that we can't resolve or solve without having input from all of our stakeholders. And so the most critical aspect of changing and reforming the education system is the support from everyone in the community. No matter what your role in life is, you are a part of this education process, and we need all people to be on board.
Got you. And so based on the work that all of these people have been doing for the last several years, our community, our educators, our parents, what are some foundational ideas or themes that we are grounding this work in?
Well, we developed what we call the vision for learning, what we want our students what we want to input or put into our students in order for them to have the outcomes that we desire for them to have. And so what is it that we're putting into them on a daily basis, whether it be by parents, whether it be by educators, whether it be by our community partners? It's critically important that those inputs are what we are going to focus on in order to get the outcomes that we desire. And so the vision for learning have both of those aspects included in that vision. So some of the inputs are things like making sure that learning is personalized. We know that students all learn in different ways. They have different abilities and skill sets. And so we need to be able to nurture what those things are, help them to understand what they're good at, and then give them opportunities to work towards a career or profession that they so desire based on those skills and what their interests are in. So making sure that what we input is more personalized than what we have done in the past. We've done a one-size-fits-all, and now we want to make it more personalized for our students. We want to make sure that it's connected to the real world, connected to their life and career aspirations, connected to what we need locally in order to sustain our economy and our lives moving forward, but also allowing them to be able to complete and be connected globally as to what's happening with them around the world. So that's also something that's being what we call input into the vision for learning. Another thing is being flexible. We know that children are faced with various things in their lives when they're not only at home, but also in school. We need to be able to have the flexibility to adhere or to make sure that we can give them what they need based on where they are in that life process. So flexibility, what they need during the school day, et cetera, has to be a part of what we input into them. Another one is making sure that they're empowered to make choices. A lot of times they have not had the opportunity to make choices for themselves. So how do we empower them to make choices based on their life, their career, and their aspirations for themselves?
So what would some of the outputs be based on what we've put into them?
Sure. So an output would be that they are adaptive. Being adaptive to everyday situations, being adaptive to the ever-changing world, the rapid pace of the changes. We know artificial intelligence, things of that nature are a big factor in how we engage with our students and in the world moving forward. And so can they adapt? How fast can they adapt to the changes that they're going to encounter on a daily basis? Another one is being innovative. We have seen from the COVID pandemic that innovation flourished during that time because people had to find alternative ways in order to sustain, make money, et cetera. And so can they be innovative? Can they, make sure that they are people who can adapt and change but innovate at the same time? And so making sure that is an outcome from what we're doing for them.
So based on all of that, I mean, and that's a lot of work that's involved, and I know there's a lot more to the vision for learning, but I want us to just touch on that. In reform and transformation, it doesn't come without challenges. So can you just touch on a bit of challenges and then more importantly, how we're overcoming some of those challenges?
Sure. So challenges, one of them, unfortunately, is that we don't have enough people involved. And so we want more people from whatever walk of life they come from to get involved with a school transformation team. If there's a particular skill set, for example, we have the signature learning programs that are very specific as far as STEM at Cedar Bridge, trades and professions. And then at Berkeley, we have health and social care and financial and insurance services. And so it's really critically important that we have more people involved in the transformation process that bring different ideas, that bring different things to the table that we can consider. So I would say that is definitely a challenge. Another challenge is that not everyone has bought into or has been keeping up with what we want to do as far as making the transformation and change. And so there are a lot of myths out there that we have to continuously debunk. But we need people to really find the facts first before they, make statements or do things like that. So a challenge is making sure that we're getting as much information out there as possible, communicating using channels that people access or use in order to get their information, and making sure that the information is actually factual information and not, things that are really not true that's happening.
The conversation will continue in a moment.
Hey Bermuda, are you ready to make a difference in our young people's lives? The Education Reform Unit is on the lookout for passionate educators and community champions just like you. Join our school transformation team and be a part of revolutionizing public education in Bermuda. Help shape signature schools and parish primary schools that will transform our public school system. Ready to make a change? Contact us today at www.learningfirstbda.com or email schoolredesign@moed.bm. Let's build a brighter future for Bermuda's youth together.
Welcome back to the program.
So as we wrap up, I do want you to share maybe a couple of celebrations as we bring this to a close, because with, challenges, but we've been working at this for several years now. We've launched our signature learning programs at our senior schools. They're going into their second year this year, and we're now launching our parish primary schools. What can we celebrate? What success have we had?
Celebrations for me, definitely, when I look at the teachers that have put their hands up and been involved in the process. They have been working extremely hard. They're being stretched, they're being challenged. And, even though the work is hard, they're excited about what the future holds for their schools with the features of parish primary schools that they've put into place. I would say another big celebration is the community partners that have come on board to help us with the learning experiences of our students. They'll be able to be in classrooms with teachers, helping to deliver curriculum and content and those experiences, but then also allowing teachers and students to experience real world things outside of the classroom on a regular basis because of those partnerships. So we have lots to celebrate, even though we have much more work to do. There are definitely things for us to be excited about and looking forward to the future.
Lisa, thank you. I know you are extremely busy with the work of reform, especially because you are leading out with this. So I thank you for your time and truly appreciate your leadership. And I hope we can bring you back another time to get an update and more successes and celebrations as we continue with education reform. Thank you for coming to Building Bridges.
Thank you.
We will be right back.
What it takes to prepare for a new school year, the work begins July. So after graduation season, we go right into postmortems and preparing for the new school year, from scheduling to executive calendar to first day prep to waiting for those results to come in during August, analyzing data. It's a lot of work to get ready for 120 plus staff members and nearly 600 students. We were ready. The facility gets an overhaul. It was pristine, it was ready. Our teachers were ready. It was a great return. First day is back. However, it takes a lot of work to get to that place. And I think persons don't realize that we work all summer. Literally, I had 10 days off. But I love the work, I'm passionate about the work, and we cannot open successfully without the summer work. September 1st, we were ready for our staff, and on September 11th, we were more than ready for our students. We had a great first 3 days. We're used to having hurricanes the first couple of weeks. We prepare for that. We ready ourselves for that possibility. We're back, and our students and staff were focused for a great new school year. Every young person has an individualized schedule. We have to make sure that teachers are scheduled, that our facility is ready, that if it's any training that has to take place for our teachers, resources, cleaning the facility, basically preparing for our new students. So we have orientation in August, have students on campus. Literally, the summer session feels like a regular day in school life.
Bermuda's education reform vision paves the way for a refined system, consolidating the number of schools and moving from a 3-tier system to a 2-tier system, targets an equitable distribution of resources, addressing declining enrollment, outdated facilities, and ensuring equity in learning. This is a strategic step towards modern, inclusive education. This transformation will enable personalized educational experiences for all students, fostering an environment for improved achievement and success. Leading the Department of Education is Mrs. Kalma Richards, the Commissioner of Education, who, along with her team, has the mammoth task of providing support for both students and teachers as the reform process unfolds.
As we consider what has been taking place for the system as we engage in education reform, in summary, I would say that we are engaging in what I consider to be extremely important work to change what we offer and what we do for our children, to incorporate better and best practices, evidence-based practices in our classrooms, ensuring that the learning environments support what teachers need to do in terms of delivering for children.